Never. Always bothers me. You gotta mute it. All right. So we're here. I'm here. I swear the holidays, I just almost forgot. I'm not gonna. I think that happened a couple times. That last time, not last time previous, but the time before. But this time I was like, it's Tuesday, I got nothing going on. It's a holiday week. And I totally forgot. I'm glad that I remembered that I'm here because this is what I love to do. Um, and the story that's coming up in my head to tell today is the 84th problem. If you guys ever heard this, have I ever told this story? I don't know if it's a Buddhist story or just a spiritual story, but we'll just, for the sake of the story, we'll just say a spiritual teacher, because I'm not sure if it's attributed. It's kind of a silly story to be attributed to Buddha, but you never know. But it's called the 84th problem. So a man, goes and finds a spiritual teacher and says, "Hey, listen, I'm having some problems with my significant other. Really fighting all the time. Things are stressful. I don't know what to do. So I've come to you." And he says, "Well, I can't help you." So he's like, "All right, well, what about, my kids? They're kind of driving me nuts. They're not really listening. They're always fighting, and they're talking disrespectfully to me, and I can't get control of them, and can you help me with this?" And he says, "Sorry, can't help you with that." So guy's getting frustrated, and he's like, "All right, well, what about my job? I'm working all these hours. I'm not getting paid enough. It's hard for me to pay for, my mortgage, and my boss is mean, and he never gives us off." And the spiritual teacher says, "Listen, I really can't help you with that." So this man is really frustrated. He heard about this teacher, and he said, "I came to you because I heard how great you were as a teacher, and I have all these problems, and I'm hoping that you'll help me with these problems." And he looks at him and he says, "Listen, everyone in the world has 83 problems." He said, "I can't help you with that." He said, "But what I can help you with is the 84th problem." So the guy lights up. "Ooh, like 84th problem, what's that?" And he said, "That you shouldn't have the other 83 problems." And it's kind of a humorous story, but it kind of really gets to a really important point, I think, that we need to start looking at. That we think it's supposed to go well. We think life is supposed to be smooth and pleasant. Things are supposed to work out. I just did my wife convinced me to go on TikTok, and I fought it for a long time because I thought it was just kids dancing. I didn't know that there was like a thing besides that. I was like, what am I going to do? And I thought you only had like 10 seconds. How am I supposed to give any wisdom? 2 minutes is hard enough, or 1 minute, let alone like a 10-second clip. Turns out it's completely different than I thought. I can actually access a lot of people very quickly, which is nice. That's what I want to do. I want to spread this stuff. So, it worked out. But I just posted something today which didn't get as many likes as everything else, because I basically said what this story is saying is like, it doesn't all work out, and we were so caught on this happily ever after. I think we grew up with it, right? The Disney movies, right? There's a big problem, and there's this evil princess or a queen or something, and then the prince comes and saves the day, and then they live happily ever after. Right? They don't show 10 years later the divorce or the the problems, the children growing up and having issues, or they don't show that. It's just, and especially this time of year, the Hallmark movies, right? It's just it all works out, and we grow up with that. We grow up with this kind of entitlement, I think, that life's supposed to feel good or a certain way. I think especially here in the West, we kind of have this like idea that I'm supposed to be comfortable, and things are supposed to go the way that I want them to go. and it's almost promoted to us, just on a societal level, just like you work hard, you're going to get the things you want, and then you'll be happy, and it's all going to work out. And even in the spiritual world with this manifestation stuff, and I probably lose a lot of fans on TikTok when I bash manifestation, because I think it gives people too much control. It gives people the illusion or the delusion maybe that they can make their life exactly as they want. And I'm not saying like, and we have to be careful. I have to be careful here, because I'm not saying that you can't work hard, that you can't move in a direction, that you can't have an idea of how you want your life to unfold and try to plant seeds for that. Like, I want to teach meditation full time, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that. But life might have other plans for me. And I'm willing to accept that, because I'm not in control like that. I'm going to keep planting seeds, and some things grow and some things don't. But when this is like kind of shoved in your face, like if you just believe and you just imagine, and you're just gonna get it, it's just gonna come to you. And it's like, and well, let me explain the problem with this. Okay, so on Instagram one day, someone posted some kind of manifest. You know what I'm talking about with manifestation, right? So so it's like it's almost, yeah, like there's this movie called The Secret. You ever hear that or no? Where it's like, if you like just I might be downplaying it, but it's almost like if you just like keep believing it, that it'll come to you. Like if you really truly believe it, that you can manifest everything you desire, basically. Which is like, how can everybody do that? And then, if everybody could do that, then why are we in the world we're in? But so someone had posted on Instagram like a quote, like, I attract only like stuff like that you read. I attract only good things in my life, and I'm happy all the, like, it just really gets under my skin. Maybe I need to work on that. But so underneath one of these manifestation things, there's this poor girl who's trying to get pregnant, and she can't. And in her comments, she's saying, I've been doing the meditation, I've been doing the manifestation, and whatever, my vision board, whatever the exercises were, and it's still not working. Am I doing something wrong? What's going on? So I think you can start to see where this becomes a problem when things don't work out, right? You promise these people, and you pay all this money to go to this workshop, to have someone tell you these methods so that you can manifest everything in your life that you've ever dreamed of. And then it doesn't work. And they don't tell you about the people that don't work. The 5 people that it worked for are rich, right? And promoting it because it worked for them. But what about the millions of other people? Maybe that they were just lucky, And again, fine line here. You can move in a direction. You can have a goal. You can go that way. But I just think it's dangerous to give someone the idea that they have that much control. Because now this woman, or young woman, whoever, I don't know how old she was, but who is already struggling with infertility, now has the burden of, it's my fault. I'm not doing it right. So we're adding a layer of guilt. I talked to a lung cancer patient who went to a similar thing, and they basically blamed her for her lung cancer. That your resentment, your anger, and you pushing it down, and look, to an extent, I understand the ideas, but I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think it's like your fault. Maybe the stress from anger could have been a contributing factor, but it wasn't the reason. It wasn't the one and only reason. So you can see where I'm going with this, is that it gives people the illusion that they have all this control. And, I like to just smash those delusions, because I think it's important to just accept the fact that we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next. I can believe that I want to teach meditation full time. I might get that opportunity, and it might be a nightmare, Or I might not get that opportunity and something else opens up that I wasn't even thinking of. And today I told the story of the Zen farmer. Did you guys hear this one? Day full of stories today. So there's a Zen farmer, and it's all in line with the same message here today. So there's a Zen farmer, and his horse runs away, and his neighbors come over, and it's actually in one of my books. I don't know, but the neighbors come over and say, "Ooh, such bad luck! Your horse ran away." Guy goes, "Maybe. Who knows? Right? Good luck, bad luck. Who's to say?" A couple days later, the horse comes back with 5 wild horses, and of course the neighbors come running over. Wow, such good luck that your horse ran away and brought back all these other horses. Wow, like, and the guy goes, "Yeah, good luck, bad luck, maybe, huh? Who knows?" And then the son of the farmer's taming one of the wild horses and falls off and severely breaks his leg. Again, this annoying, nosy neighbors, right? Ooh, such bad luck. He broke his leg. He might not be able to walk, normal again. Sure enough, that weekend, someone from the military comes to draft all, able-bodied young men to go to the army to fight in the war. And because his leg's so badly broken, he can't go. Now, the story ends there, which sounds like a pretty, optimistic story, right? But I made sure, and this is the video I was talking about that people didn't like as much, but I followed that story up with some clarification, because that story can give you the idea that what I'm trying to say is you don't know if something bad happens, that it's going to be something good, and because it ended on a positive note. And I don't want to get like, that's not why we're doing this practice, so that everything works out. Right? We're doing this practice because things don't work out sometimes, because things fall apart, because life is hard. And we want to have some kind of practice that can help us with that. It's not like just meditate for 5 years and then everything falls into place and you're happy all the time and you don't get sick anymore and you don't lose anybody and you're compassionate and blissed out 24/7. Even though we might, when I put it like that, it's like, of course that's not true. But we might have these little beliefs that if only I do this, then I'm going to be fine. Or if only I just find that right person, or that right job, or that, for me, it's like the right book. If only I do the right meditation method, if I find the right teacher, if I just go on enough retreats. That was my way of thinking. Then I don't have to deal with this stuff. And even now, it's like, I'm married, I have 3 kids, I have a full-time job. It's like, it's still in there. When something, like when I have an argument, or when something happens at work, it's not supposed to happen. But this is what happened, and this is why I find it so important for me to teach, because it's like, I don't want to feed your delusions. I don't want to give you guys some false beliefs. That's not going to help you when real stuff happens, right? When you shared about your husband, it was like, I didn't say like just meditate and it's going to be fine, right? You don't want to hear that. Well, do you want to hear that? I don't know. We don't want to hear bullshit. We want to hear how it is. It's going to be painful. It stinks, and it hurts. Does that mean you can't find your way with it? No, you can't. And there will be moments of openness and joy and ease, but there'll also be really difficult nights and hard times and holidays and anniversaries. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, right? It just means that it's just the nature of things. And sometimes I just think we need that hard slap of just like, wake up. Life's not easy. It's not hard. And this is why I appreciate Buddhism, because it literally starts with suffering. And you could say, oh, that's such a pessimistic religion or tradition. I mean, it's not really. It is a religion, but I think it's like, finally, someone's telling the truth. All right? Somebody's not bullshitting me anymore, and just someone's just being real about it. It's hard. It's going to be painful, you know. And maybe I'm a little harsh with it, just because I'm being cynical this week. But because I said on that video, I said like we think we're going to do this and it's going to work out, but things don't work out. You know, like it's not going to work out in the end. Like we're going to get older, we could get sick, have an illness, right? And ultimately, we have to leave everything we love. That's not a happy ending, you know. You know, and that's why I did a workshop. I called it "Unhappily Ever After." You know, and if this talk makes you uncomfortable, like I don't want to say good because I'm gonna sound like a sicko, but good because that means you're it's hitting something deep within you. Something is in there. So maybe it's a fear. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just making this up. Right. Well, that's just the law of karma, cause and effect. Like everything that arises is both arises from causes and condition, but then becomes a new cause and condition for something like so. I don't know. I get with it's like I believe that, but at the same time, I think I would just simplify it to everything happens as it happens. And yes, things are interconnected, and um, I don't know. Uh, yeah, it's hard to say, right? Because the idea of reason or no reason, it's still like a human idea, you know. So how do we? Uh, you know what I say in the video is it's a mystery. And I think what meditation offers is not more answers, not the promise that it's going to work out, not a guaranteed happiness all the time, but this ability to rest with not know and to be at ease with the mystery of our lives, you know, and to have a place of refuge for when it doesn't go the way we think it should go, you know. And that's like, you know, when I listen to sometimes I'll listen back to what I say. It's like, what am I saying? But it's like what I want to like try to put it in a neat package. Like what are we doing this practice for? Right. And part of it is to see things clearly. What's the nature of life and how do I best live it? You know, how do I align myself with what's true instead of resisting it and fighting with it and pretending it's some other way? How can I see what's true and live in harmony with that? Maybe that's a better way. So that's one level. And that's part of it is pain is a part of life. Things change and end. You know, some of those sobering truths of life. Now, when I say like unhappily ever after, I'm not saying that you can't find joy. You know, you can't appreciate your life and be grateful for your life, that you're just this depressed, like everything changes and ends in my life. This and it's hopeless. Not hopeless. I hope I don't come off like that. And maybe I do. I just want to, make sure that that's not the case. I mean, the essence is that when you give up that small mindedness of how you think it's supposed to be, you can finally relax with what is. And it's a big relief. Maybe I should talk about that more, but it's a big relief to just not have the burden of life shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't be this way. You know, we shouldn't have problems. Like that whole 84 problem thing. That we have this ability to be with things as they are. And this is what I say every week or every month. But that we have the freedom to just pause. And it's such a gift. It's so simple. And it doesn't seem like it's a big deal. And when I say it, I feel stupid sometimes. Like people probably think like, hey, so what? You could do that. But the fact that if you were all agitated, you were caught in a storyline about your life and how much it sucks and how hard it is and how you can't get through this, or that you can just pause and say, like, agitation is like this. Or you can pause and say, worry feels like this, or grief feels like this. And that you can just stop, like fighting it. You can stop wishing for something else. You can stop fantasizing about some possible other time when things are better. And you could just say, right now, this is it. And it doesn't make the pain go away necessarily, but there's a sense of relief. Does that make sense? Or does that, okay? That's the thing, going crazy. But that there can be that ease, and you guys see it when we do our sitting, which we'll do later. I'm not changing your life, right? You have the same mind and body and the situations, your struggles, your burdens that you walked in here with. But I just have you show up and not fight anything. Show up to the six senses, the sixth one being thinking, not talking to ghosts. But we just show up to feeling the body, hearing the sound, their sensations in the body, the tightness, the sadness, the heaviness, the contraction, the opening, whatever. We notice the thoughts, spitting crazy stuff out. But there's no problem because we let go. So yeah, part of the practice is seeing clearly. But the other part is learning to just rest in what I like to call the ownerless open. It's just this.
So feeling dated, how do you just say, okay, I'm going to just sit, feel this, or like, how do you transition to like getting your brain like, oh, this is what I'm feeling.
Right.
How do you? Because you could be agitated all day and not
yes,
have that thought of, oh, this is agitation or whatever feeling.
Right. Well, it takes that so that is what our practice is about, is cultivating attention and awareness, mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
It's when we sit down in meditation, we're strengthening the mindfulness muscle, that ability to just know that right now things are like this. So that when you go into life, ultimately,
practice of meditation will help you determine, oh, I'm going crazy.
It's just the art of knowing.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you have to this is tricky to talk about, but you don't have to cultivate it because you're already in. So like you're already aware. Like you open your eyes, you see, right? There's a knowing. There is something that knows. There's sights, there's sounds, there's Mark right here that knows perceptions and knows what your thoughts are about it. There's a knowing. The problem is that we don't rest in the knowing. We get like, it's almost like the knowing collapses into our little thoughts and storylines. So then we forget, that there's all this space, So meditation gets you in touch with it. It's like you're practicing letting go into it. It's not like you're, practicing strengthening it or, I guess you could say you are. I mean, again, words are a little tricky. But you're trying to practice that moment to moment awareness that just knows what's happening without getting swept away. Because then eventually you start practicing that when you're walking to your car or when you're sitting at your desk or when you're chopping onions for dinner.
Tired. You're just tired.
Tired feels like that.
Oh, I mean, do you meditate?
You don't have to, it's not even, it's just an acknowledgement of what's true in that moment. It's just honoring what's true. And then obviously from there, I mean, so Pema Chodron, who's Buddhist nun, she breaks it down into natural intelligence, natural warmth, and natural openness or spaciousness. So, you're tired, you can be aware of that, right? And just be open to that. You can hold that as it is. There's the natural like spaciousness. The warmth is just like bringing that unconditional friendliness. You don't have to like say I'm such a piece of crap because I'm tired or what, right. But you can just kind of hold it and allow it and hold yourself with compassion. And then the natural intelligence, well, maybe you need to just take a break, like it's that intuitive wisdom. The mind knows what makes things better and what makes, or not the mind, but the, whatever, the heart, whatever you want to call it. But that deeper part knows what helps us and what hurts us. So there is that natural wisdom. But the practice itself is what allows you to be like, they help each other out. So when you do sitting meditation, and I'm going to use the word strengthening because it's easier, you're strengthening that ability to pay attention moment by moment. But then when you're paying attention moment by moment in daily life, then that helps you when you're sitting, and it's just like this constant. And eventually, I used to feel like really different in seated meditation versus daily life, but eventually there's no more gap. It's just, you're sitting in meditation, you're at work, you're stressed out, you're tired, you're chasing kids, it's just what it is at any given moment. And then you use those three tools, and I've used ARC. You guys remember that? Awareness, relaxation, kindness. But it's just your ability to be awake and aware without being swept away by how I think it should be, and all our ideas and judgments, storylines. The ability to soften into life even when it's tiring or it's sad or it's painful. That expanding the window of tolerance, and then that unconditional friendliness, which can show up on so many different ways. Just allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling, practicing being kind to others, cultivating a compassionate mind. So when you are feeling bad, reminding yourself about other people. That practice we did, I don't know, 2 or 3 times ago, where we remember others, and then we, and myself and all others experiencing grief or tiredness, whatever, find their way. And then it's so hard to put, like, it's not just one thing, our practice. Like, part of it is paying attention, but it's not just coldly paying attention either. It's engaging in the world, right? And engaging and trying not to cause harm with your words, with your actions, with what you choose to dwell in. It's also about helping others. It's not just about, like, how can I feel good and be at peace? It's how can I be less crazy so that I can actually help others? Like, how can I be less self-centered and stuck? And when we focus on me, our life shrinks and it's miserable. I'm not saying neglect me. And again, everything I say has like a, because you could take it to be an extreme. We have to find that nice middle balance where we can engage with life, try to do what we want to do, but also hold it lightly. And if life wants to surprise us, we can be open to that. And then to have a practice that can hold situations that throw us off, so that we can remain balanced, so that we can have something to take refuge in when life pulls out the rug, and sometimes it's a group. So it's not just like one thing. It's community, it's awareness and attention, it's compassion, it's clear seeing. I mean, it's your whole life. That's why I wrote that second book. Your life is meditation. It's your whole life. It's how are you relating to your life? And if you don't understand how it works, then you're not going to relate to it very well. If you're not clear, it's like try to live in your house without any lights on. Just complete darkness. You never know, where the steps are. You can't find the fridge. You don't know if you have matching clothes. You don't know what kind of clothes you're even wearing. It's really hard to live in the dark, right? And it's the same thing with life. It's really hard to live like shielded from how things really are. And it makes it really hard. And then throw in some deep habits from evolution or creation, whatever, story you like better. Trying to hold on to pleasant and avoid unpleasant, and trying to see things that are impermanent as permanent. And it's hard. It's hard. I think that's, one of my friends, we had a little Buddhist group at Montclair, and that's all he would say all the time. but it made me feel so good when he said it. Because I feel like he got it. I'd be like, oh, I'm having this problem. It's hard, man. It's hard. That's what he would say. But I think that just that acknowledgement really helps. It's all making sense, or am I just rambling like a crazy person? Any question? I don't have the greatest voice today. I don't know why. So it's not a depressing message, is what I'm trying to say. I know it can come off like that, and yeah, especially when I say it's not going to work out, and things do work out sometimes. I'm not that cynical. Right? Sometimes we do get what we want. It's great. I'm not saying we should be weary of that. Enjoy it. But what I am saying is don't depend on that for your happiness. Don't depend on life working out. Can you find a deeper kind of joy and ease and appreciation that's not dependent on conditions? And I think that's what meditation really offers, is something deeper that's not dependent on things working out or not. And let me actually read it. I may have read this before. I don't remember the name, but there's like this collection of poems by Buddhist nuns over the years. I don't remember the name, but this one is called Lucky. She says, "You always considered yourself lucky because things seemed to work out the way you wanted. Now luck has a different meaning. Lucky to be walking a path that finds peace in the arising and passing away of each present moment, regardless of how things work out or don't." So, it really embodies that message. Like we think we're lucky at first when things go our way. We get what we want. We're feeling good and we're comfortable. We're having pleasurable experience. But then when that changes, which it will, because that's the way things go, then we think it's bad luck. And we're right back to the story. See it all circled around. But to have a path that, whether things work out or not, that I can be with the arising and passing away of those experiences with some equanimity, with some ease, with some humor, which you need, with some compassion. Like, we're lucky to have that, to have a path that offers us that reminds us of that possibility. And that's what I hope to get in all of my seemingly pessimistic talk, is to snap you out of the illusion of perfection, of getting everything you want. And by the way, how many things have you gotten that you really wanted? Are you satisfied yet? I asked, it was like a old people album, like they were like 90s. And they said, we still want other stuff. The wanting never ends. Craving doesn't end. It's like drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. So the more you want, and the more you try to, chase desire to get things, for life to be a certain way, the more desire arises, the more dissatisfied you are. Again, I'm not saying don't want anything, but it's how you're holding your wanting. A preference versus an attachment. I prefer warm, sunny weather, but cold's fine too, right? Versus if it's not warm tomorrow, well, the world's gonna have. See the difference? That's how you hold it. Someone once showed me like this, like I could hold on to this like this and really grip it, and it's already getting uncomfortable. And if you try to take it, fight and struggle and resist, or you just hold it like this. I like when I have it, but if it gets taken away, it's taken away. This is all easier said than done, but that's why it's a practice, the lifelong practice of letting go. And what is life but a big act of letting go? All right? Can we hold anything? I'm not trying, again, I'm not trying to be a certain way. I'm just saying the truth. We can't hold on. Can't hold on to good feelings or bad feelings. You can't hold on to pain or pleasure. You can't hold on to fame or fortune. You can't hold on to this body. You can't hold on to this mind. So why not let go? Why struggle so much? Just, okay, now it's like this. And you engage in your life and you enjoy and you do everything. But when it changes, okay, time to change now. Life's asking for this now. Put it in Judeo-Christian terms. Thy will, not my will. It's the same, it's all the same stuff in every tradition, just said with different words. Things are as they are, which can be difficult and painful at times, but can also be pleasurable and happy. But you can't hold on to any of it. So this is a practice of letting go. And you start with little things like if Bombay Hut is closed when I get out of here, it's closed. Can't get it tonight. Right? You start with little things. Can't get what you want, you notice it. You notice how your mind pouts about it. Not angry mind. Yeah, it's fine. Right? Nothing's turned away. If I could put this practice in 2 words, we welcome everything. And then another 2 words, let go. And another 3 words, not always so. You keep going, but this is the practice. I don't even know what that means sometimes when I say that, but it's like, because it's just, you can see there's just so much. But sometimes it's letting go, sometimes it's resting in spaciousness, sometimes it's shouting, sometimes it's always different. So enough chatter, let's do some sitting before I run out of time. So today, just because I don't know why I'm losing my voice, but maybe we'll just sit. No special nothing, so I'll do a little guided, but we'll just sit. Get my timer. Everyone comfortable? That's a funny question. Just give a talk about not being as comfortable as you can get. Hands on the knees or resting in the lap. And we'll start by just listening to the bell. So that's all you have to do. We'll practice with this theme of letting go. The first thing we let go of is movement. We allow ourselves to just be still. Just take a moment to see what that's like. Not be running around. Not be endlessly trying to be happy. Endlessly running away from suffering. just kind of habitually moving. And we let go of the past. This is it. What's done is finished. We can't go back. We can't do things differently. Can't get rid of all the pain and difficulty, the things that have happened. We let go. What's done is finished. Here we are. And then we let go of the future, because that's not real either. It's just a thought, a dream, an idea. What if you were to let go of the idea that things were going to be different? You just accepted that right now, this is it. This is your life. You don't need to be better. You don't need to look different. You don't need to feel different. Right now, these are just the current ingredients. And we let go of the judgment on now. Too cold, too hot, too achy, too scattered, too restless. And we let go into how things truly are right now in this body and mind. Let go of expectations. Let go of storylines about what happened, what I do, this and that, what I like, what I don't like. Just let there be the body sitting here, breathing. The ears hearing, the body feeling, the breath going in and out, the mind spitting out all kinds of things. No expectations, no storylines. We let go of resistance and struggle. Maybe it's not the way you want it in this moment. It's still that way anyway. So let go into it. Why bang your head against the wall? We can let go of tension. So notice if there's any contractions. See if you can soften them. face, the jaw, shoulders, the hands, chest, the belly. Keep going. Now letting go of me and mine. My body, my mind. I'm feeling this way. I'm angry. I'm worried. The I'm is extra. The me or mine is extra. Let it go. Instead of I'm hearing, just hear. Not my achy knee, just achy knee. And letting go of thinking you have to do something. That there's some experience to be had or some state to attain. And even with that instruction, let go of non doing, because you can make that a thing. You let go of all of this. What's left? That's what you want to do. You give up your storylines. You give up the past and future, your hopes and fears, your desires. Give up the storylines, the identifications. Let go of the struggle, the resistance, the me, the mine. And what? Things as they are. If anything arises and you grab hold of it, just let it go. And another way of saying let go is let it be. If your mind's planning dinner, planning mind, let it be. Leave it alone. Feeling antsy or anxious, just leave it alone. You hear sounds, leave them alone. Be the one that knows. As T.S. Eliot would put it, the still point of the turning world. Just allow the arising and passing of experience. As they say in Taoism, the way is easy for those who don't pick or choose. So in a moment, I'll hit the bell one more time. Just let it pass through. It'll arise, and it'll pass away. Just like everything. Take a nice deep breath together, breathing in through the nose and out. And then when you're ready, slowly open the eyes. One day I'm just going to get up and walk out. Really stop your mind. How are we doing? Understanding that subtle relief, what I'm pointing to, that cooling down, it's hard to put a word on. Same life, same body, same mind. All that changed was how you related to it. And you can do that at any time. And you don't have to feel this good. It's not about, you're not going to, when you're at home in an argument, you're not going to like just feel good. But you can be very aware of what's happening and try not to make it worse. Use that natural wisdom, that natural intelligence. Well, if I say this, it's going to make it worse. And you try to refrain and let go. All right, it all comes together. But it really is a practice of letting go, of attention and of letting go, and of compassion. And as soon as I start listing, it's going to go on. So, let me get the date right. I'll make sure I make a flyer for her this month. I usually send it like the next day. The next Tuesday will be the 31st, the literal last day. Oh wait, yes. Okay. So I'll plan on being here. And if you have something, that'd be great. Yeah.